Hello guys, it is Cave Theories here, and guys, Riverdale has just finished their 5-episode event, Rivervale. So I thought today we would rank all of these episodes of Riverdale and see which ones are the best and which ones unfortunately fall into the trap of many other Riverdale episodes where they are just not very good. So I thought we would rank them against each other on a tier list, and if you want to join in this tier list yourself, there'll be a link down below in the description. But let's just get straight on with it. And before we go any further, please make sure that you click that red subscribe button down below and have your notifications turned on so that you get notified every time we make any brand new tier list videos. So here we are on the tier list. I've got all of the episodes, only 5 of them, and we're just going to rank them. So the first one is episode 1, Welcome to Rivervale. And it's an intriguing one, I'd have to say, because it isn't the best season opener ever that the show's ever had. I think that goes to season 2. You of course had the Black Hood just killing Fred. It was intense. This episode though, because we are entering Rivervale and not Riverdale, it was really weird and intriguing, and I loved how you never really knew what the characters' intentions were, because one minute Betty and Archie loved each other, the next minute Betty is suddenly wanting to kill him, and the fact that suddenly you see just the type of town that Rivervale is compared to Riverdale, because Cheryl comes in saying that she loves everyone, and then suddenly she manages to get every single person in the town to turn against Archie, and they kill him. This set the precedent for what Rivervale is going to be. They are ruthless and they are willing to kill even your main character. So just because of how intriguing this episode is, I'm going to put it pretty high. I think it's probably an A tier because I really did like just how out there and different it was, and it really showed me, okay, Rivervale is really meant to be taken seriously. Next we have Ghost Stories with Lyona. I'm not too keen on this episode. I thought the concept of La Llorona was good and decent enough, but when Tony just went and sacrificed herself, yes, it fit, but it was a bit I don't know, I wasn't really getting the vibe. For me, I much more prefer the thriller side of Riverdale rather than what Rivervale was going for, which was the supernatural element, but it's still okay. So I don't think it was the worst episode ever. I think it's a C tier. It was decent enough, but I was still getting used to it. The fact that they just kind of ignored Archie's death was weird, but I guess that was the whole point of it, so yeah. Next we have episode 3, Mr. Cypher. This one was interesting because, like you say, Mr. Cypher is the devil. That's what they were depicting him as. And I liked it. I kind of liked how it was just focusing on Mr. Cypher and seeing this entire story play out through his eyes, and just seeing the type of power that he has on all the characters. You of course have Veronica and Reggie already fighting. Suddenly Mr. Cypher gets them to turn on each other. You have Kevin, he's losing all of his hopes and dreams, and Mr. Cypher changes that for him. You of course have the absence of Tony, and we see what Fangs is like without her. And then you have people like Jughead freaking out over how amazing this devil Mr. Cypher is. So it's an intriguing episode, and I have to say that's what Riverdale is all about. It's but full of a bunch of intriguing things. And I liked Betty's part in this with the trash bag killer. It's a bit of a shame that it wasn't the proper trash bag killer, but it was still decent. So I'd say this is more of a middle ground episode. I'm going to put it in the B tier. Next we have episode 4, The Witching Hours. Of course, the one where Sabrina comes in. And I have to say, my only really annoying thing about this episode is that it was just a bit of a waste. They brought Sabrina in. They finally brought Sabrina from The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, Riverdale spin-off show, into Riverdale. It was a huge moment. It was what sold the trailers. And then they just didn't really do much with her. She was in for about 5 minutes, and that was about it. I guess she was only in for a cameo, and I'm still glad that she's in it, but they could have done so much more. The episode itself, I liked how it showed 3 different perspectives of a Blossom, all played by Madeleine Petsch. I thought that was really good, and I liked how the different parallels between the different generations of Blossoms worked. The only weird thing that I found was the kiss between Poppy, I think she was called, and the Cooper at the time. Because if you think about it, it showed Lily Reinhart and Madeleine Petsch kissing, which I'm absolutely fine with. But considering if you think about the characters that they play normally, Cheryl and Betty and their cousins normally in the show, it was just a bit weird to see. I got why they were doing it because it wasn't actually Cheryl and Betty, but for me it was just a bit weird. But I liked when Fangs randomly came in and became a serial killer. I thought that was pretty decent. So I'm gonna say this is middle ground as well. Like, lots of these are just middle ground, like they're okay. And finally we have the Jughead Paradox, Riverdale's 100th episode. And I thought it was absolutely amazing. It's S tier by far. All of these other episodes were very intriguing, don't get me wrong, but they weren't my vibe. Like, I didn't come to Riverdale to see supernatural beings. I didn't come to Riverdale to see giant sacrifices and people turning into ghosts and all that sort of stuff. That's not my vibe for Riverdale. This, however, I know it was a bit like really crazy and mental that they were going into like parallel universes and stuff, but it was such a fun moment that you can tell, okay, for the 100th episode, they are going to throw everything out at us. We, of course, had the returning of so many characters. Dilton Doily, Benjamin Button. We had, of course, Jason Blossom returning, which was amazing. And I just love how meta the episode was, because you could tell all of the actors and the writers, what they wanted to do was they actually wanted to break the fourth wall so many times and just talk to us directly as the fans. Veronica did it so many times. When she thinks that she has to sleep with Jughead to fix the paradox, she goes to the camera, Jughead is now canon. Like, how more meta can you get than that? And it was such a great moment just for the fans. And they even went as far as to bring in the original Reggie. Like, they teased it with the fact that you could see Jughead saying, oh, for some reason the character Reggie kind of changes style after a few bits in the comics. And I just thought, okay, that's a pretty cool mention. But no, they actually went all out and they brought the two Reggies together, and it's like filled in so many plot holes, and I think it's just a brilliant fan moment. And when it ends with seeing what kind of like heaven is like in Rivervale, and it's just pops with all of the different comics that relate to the Archie comics, I think it's a brilliant fan moment and a perfect thing for the 100th episode. And to be honest, I kind of like the satisfying conclusion, how it kind of concluded Rivervale in this weird time loop, and it made me appreciate the other episodes a bit more, because without the Jughead Paradox, I honestly think these bottom three would probably be a tier lower, because for me, they weren't that great. But with the Jughead Paradox and with the first episode, what Riverdale did really well was it began well and it ended perfectly. So it's making me very excited for season 6. But anyway, guys, that is our Rivervale tier list. What did you guys think about it? Do you agree with me? Let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. And of course, you can check out this tier list for yourself. There'll be a link down below in the description. But anyway, guys, that's the end of this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, make sure that you smash that like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, we've been here on Gate of Theories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.